1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news. Edited by Danushka Madhavela and read by Indrani Senanayaka. The headlines. A flood situation has been reported in certain areas of Ratnapura due to the rapid rise in the water level of the Kaluganga. The government has decided to restart the three-posha production. The Department of Animal Production and Health says that the use of eggs on a daily basis in Sri Lanka has increased. Underworld figure Midhigama Ruwan brought back to Sri Lanka. Ex-CBSL Chief Cabral and 3 others released from 2012 Greek bonds case. In foreign news, Donald Trump guilty on all counts in historic criminal trial. In sports news, FIFA warned players could go on strike. A flood situation has been reported in certain areas of Ratnapura due to the rapid rise in the water level of the Kaluganga. The water level of the Kaluganga has reportedly reached the 7-meter level at the Pulungupitiya gauging station. As a result, the Alutpota Ratnapura main bus route has been flooded by the Ayodhya areas, disrupting traffic movement. The National Building Research Organization issued early landslide warnings for several localities in 6 districts yesterday. Accordingly, a Level 2 alert was issued for the following areas: Nuwara Eliya, Abagamuwa, Divisional Secretariat Division and surrounding areas, and Ratnapura, Balangoda, Ahaliagoda and Imbulpe Divisional Secretariat Divisions and surrounding areas. According to the Met Department, the prevailing showery and windy conditions of the island are expected to continue further due to the active southwest monsoon. The government has decided to restart the three-posha production. The three-posha production was halted temporarily due to various reasons. Director General of Health Services, Asela Gunawardena, made these comments at the Parliament Society for Children's Affairs recently. He said that the approval is given under the certain condition to restart the three-posha production for the benefit of the children suffering from malnutrition in the country. The Parliamentary Society for Children's Affairs were met at the Parliamentary Complex recently under the chairmanship of Rohini Kumari Vijayaratna. The Director General of Health Services further said that the Sri Lanka Three-Posha Company has focused its attention to produce a new type of cereal from rice. The Department of Animal Production and Health said that the use of eggs on a daily basis in Sri Lanka has increased. The average daily use of eggs in Sri Lanka stood at 7 million, and now it has increased to more than 8 million a day. The reason behind the increase is the development of the tourism sector. The increase of the prices of fish and chicken products and the affordable prices of eggs are the main reasons behind the increase of egg sales in the country. This was revealed at a meeting held with Minister Mahinda Amarweera recently. Meanwhile, it was revealed that around 15 million eggs are being exported from Sri Lanka. Minister Amarweera informed the officials to not decrease the number of egg exports. The minister went on to say that no adequate survey has been conducted for the consumption of eggs, milk and chicken in the country for a long period of time. The minister instructed officials to conduct such a survey without delay. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, and we continue with local news. Notorious underworld figure and drug trafficker Ruwan Jayasekara alias Midhigama Ruwan has been brought back to Sri Lanka from Dubai by a team of officers from the Criminal Investigation Department today. Police spokesman DIG Nihal Talduwa said the suspect is accused of being involved in planning the attempt by infamous drug trafficker Nadun Chintaka alias Harakkata to escape from the CID headquarters in Colombo. In March, it had been reported that Midhigama Ruwan had been arrested by the Dubai police based on an Interpol warrant and that he would likely be extradited back to Sri Lanka. He is considered to be one of the 2 people who had led Harakkata's drug network after the latter's arrest in Madagascar and extradition to Sri Lanka. He is also said to have planned an attack on the CID head office in Colombo to free drug trafficker Nadun Chintaka alias Harakkata, which was ultimately foiled. The Colombo High Court today ordered the release of former governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Ajit Niwad Cabral, and 3 other defendants in a case filed against them alleging financial losses caused to the Sri Lanka government through investments in Greek treasury bonds in 2012. The attorneys who appeared on behalf of the former CBSL chief had raised objections that the relevant case filed by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption cannot be maintained. The Colombo High Court Judge Aditya Patabandige, who accepted the relevant objections, ordered the release of Ajit Niwad Cabral and co-defendants of the case. The defendants were accused of causing a loss of over 1.8 billion rupees to the Sri Lankan government through the Greek T-bond investments in 2012. That ends the local segment of news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Look at the main news story. State Minister of Finance Shehan Semasinghe has stated that only those wishing to plunge the country back into an economic crisis would oppose the Economic Transformation Bill. He emphasized that while the current government is focused on an optimistic economic outlook, the opposition groups are driven solely by political motives. State Minister Semasinghe made these remarks during a press conference at the Presidential Media Centre yesterday, themed A Collective Path to a Stable Country.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
We now take a look at Watchlight. According to the Examinations Department sources, the results of the GCE Advanced Level Examination 2023 will probably be released this weekend. The Advanced Level Examination 2023 was held last January. However, the release of the results was delayed due to the delay in holding the Advanced Level practical tests due to trade union action of several teachers' trade unions, and that was Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
First, headlines. Donald Trump guilty on all counts in historic criminal trial. Biden allows Ukraine to hit some targets in Russia with U.S. weapons. Recovering Slovak PM moved to capital after shooting. Donald Trump has been convicted on all 34 counts of falsifying business records in his historic criminal trial in New York. It is the first time a former or serving U.S. president has been convicted of a crime. He will be sentenced on the 11th of next month. The ex-president could face prison, but legal experts say a fine is more likely outcome. Trump calls the verdict a disgrace and attacks Judge Merchan, who presided over the case. The verdict comes as he campaigns to defeat Joe Biden in November's election and return to the White House. The court heard from 22 witnesses over 6 weeks, including Stormy Daniels, whose alleged sexual encounter with Trump was at the center of this case. Trump stood accused of concealing a payment made by his former lawyer to buy the ex-adult film star's silence shortly before the 2016 election. The 12 jurors deliberated for 2 days before reaching a unanimous verdict. U.S. President Joe Biden has given Ukraine permission to use American-supplied weapons to strike targets in Russia, but only near the Kharkiv region, U.S. officials say. One told BBC News his team had been directed to ensure Ukraine was able to use U.S. weapons for counter-fire purposes to hit back at Russian forces hitting them or preparing to hit them. Russian forces have made gains in the Kharkiv region in recent weeks after a surprise offensive in the area close to the border with Russia. On Friday, Ukrainian officials said 3 people had been killed and 16 injured in Russian shelling of a residential building in the suburb of Kharkiv city. The White House and State Department had no immediate comment. The UK earlier signaled that it was open to an easing of restrictions on how Ukraine could use weapons supplied by the West. Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico has been moved out of a hospital in the center of the country 2 weeks after being seriously wounded in a shooting. He was transported from the city of Banska Bystrica to continue his recovery in the capital, Bratislava. According to a media report, the 59-year-old was left fighting for his life after being shot 4 times at close range in the central town of Handlover on the 15th of this month as he greeted supporters after a government meeting. Mr. Fico is said to have undergone a number of operations. It is not clear whether he has been discharged to his apartment in Bratislava or transferred to another hospital. The veteran politician, who has served as Prime Minister for more than 10 of the last 18 years, returned to power last September as head of a populist national coalition. Slovakia has become increasingly polarized in recent months, and the attack has only deepened tensions. His alleged assailant, named by local media as 71-year-old suspect, has been remanded in custody, charged with attempted murder. To end this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. Donald Trump guilty on all counts of historic criminal trial. Biden allows Ukraine to hit some targets in Russia with U.S. weapons. Recovering Slovak PM moved to capital after shooting. That ends this bulletin of world news.
Development news.
Education Ministry's Additional Secretary Chandima Janaki yesterday said that steps have been taken to increase the interest-free loan given to the students aspiring to pursue their higher education in private universities from 800,000 rupees to 1.5 million rupees. She said that the Education Ministry has so far given loans to private university students without a guarantor, but a condition has been laid to have a guarantee to secure this loan. She further stated that the Cabinet has approved to increase the loan limit to 1.5 million rupees, and 7 groups of students have benefited by this scheme, which was started in 2017.
Moving on with sports news.
Football's world governing body FIFA has warned players are willing to go on strike if they continue to be overworked. Professional Footballers Association Chief Executive Maheta Malongo believes players are now at breaking point. The PFA has been calling for action to alter the congested football calendar, especially with the expanded 32-team World Club proposed for next summer. The PFA has threatened legal action and has been exploring options to do that over the growing number of games in the football calendar. In conjunction with the PFA, a letter was sent to FIFA in May by FIFPro with the World Leagues Association, which includes the Premier League, threatening legal action if it continues with plans to host a 32-team Club World Cup at the end of next season. And that was sports news.
Go ekathiana youth ekat life eke change ekat niyameta set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekat niyameta set wenna friendship එක menna.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A 14-member high-level business delegation from Pakistan is in Sri Lanka exploring investment opportunities in several high-profile manufacturing areas, including e-batteries and e-bikes. Honorary Consul Sri Lanka in Lahore, who led this delegation, said that today Sri Lanka has made a dramatic economic turnaround after facing its worst economic crisis last year. They also said that they already met Minister of Foreign Affairs Ali Sabri, Chairman of the Board of Investment Dinesh Virakodi, and had a successful B2B meeting arranged by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce yesterday. The delegation is also looking at manufacturing electrical and home appliances like manufacturing air coolers, fans, washing machines and other electronic items.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekathiana youth ekat life eke change ekat niyameta set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekat niyameta set wenna friendship එක menna.
The all new NSB NSB Itru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. In an inspired strategic move to rejuvenate foreign investment in the real estate sector, the Sri Lanka Department of Immigration and Immigration has reintroduced the Investor Visa program. This revamped initiative aimed specifically at non-Sri Lankans interested in purchasing condominium units is said to go live online. The announcement followed a successful meeting held recently at the department's headquarters, spearheaded by Controller General Harsha Ilukpitia. The Investor Visa program promises a streamlined and efficient process for non-Sri Lankans seeking to invest in the country's property market.
Weather report.
And finally, we take a look at the weather report. The prevailing showery and windy conditions of the island are expected to continue further due to the active southwest monsoonal condition. Showers will continue at times in the western, Sabaragama, central and southern provinces. Several spells of showers will occur in the northwestern province. Fairly heavy showers of about 50 millimeters are likely at some places in the western and Sabaragama provinces and in the Nuwara district. Showers or thundershowers will occur at a few places in the Uva, north central and eastern provinces in the evening or at night. Strong winds of about 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the central hills and in the north central, western, southern and northwestern provinces and in the Trincomalee and Monaragala districts. To end this afternoon's news broadcast, the headlines again. A flood situation has been reported in certain areas of Ratnapura due to the rapid rise in the water level of the Kaluganga. The government has decided to restart the three-posher production. The Department of Annual Production and Health said that the use of eggs on a daily basis in Sri Lanka has increased. Underworld figure Midigama Ruwan brought back to Sri Lanka. Ex-CBSL chief Cabral and 3 others released from 2012 Greek bond case. In foreign news, Donald Trump guilty on all counts in historic criminal trial. And in sports news, FIFA warned players could go on strike. That ends this afternoon's news broadcast. 33 minutes past 1 o'clock. This is Radio Sri Lanka. And of course, as always, on a Friday, I'm about to exit the studio, but of course, your very dear friend and mine, Geethanjali Ramanayaka, she's always, I'll tell you, always with a beautiful smile. And of course, she will transport that smile to every one of you tuned in today, and all of you will be smiling, and I think that is a wonderful thing to do. So all the very best to every one of you tuned in at... it's almost the weekend, so we wish you all the very best indeed. Enjoy yourselves and, of course, stay with Radio Sri Lanka.